Oh, there is so many yummy vegetarian options out there. You could try like lentil soup, veggie burgers, tofu stir fry. The possibilities are endless. There are people who bow to trains, cleaners, bowing deeply to an incoming bullet train. Foreigners seeing this usually widen their eyes. Wait, why bow to a train? Honestly, even as a Japanese person, I sometimes think it might be, too much. But simultaneously, it feels beautiful. The reason this contradiction exists? Well, it hides a very specific Japanese sense, and by the end, you're going to see that bow totally differently. First, let's look at how this exact bow actually became famous worldwide. Take the number 7. That's a number that literally shocked the globe when the American news network CNN praised it as the 7-minute miracle. When footage of this hit the internet, viewers overseas were just blown away by the flawless service, but they were also super confused. Like, okay, amazing work ethic, but wait, why are they bowing to a machine? To answer that, we gotta look a little closer at what's actually happening on that platform. Here's what that miracle actually entails. The JR cleaning team, known as Tessay, completely resets a 17-car bullet train in just 7 minutes flat. We're talking 1,000 seats adjusted, 1,700 tray tables wiped, floors swept, bathrooms made absolutely spotless. It's literally an unbelievable feat of physical coordination. But the real climax? It isn't the speed. The second the clock stops, the entire team in their blue uniforms lines up on the platform and bow deeply in perfect unison. When an American reporter asked a manager why they do this, the manager didn't even really get the question. To them, it's not a PR stunt for the cameras, it's not a manual, it's just what you do. Now, if you travel around Japan a lot, you might notice this isn't just some copy-paste gesture. Both the cleaners and the train conductors bow to the Shinkansen, but the meaning behind it, totally different. It all comes down to the intent. The cleaner's bow is about gratitude and firing themselves up for the job. It's like saying, thanks for your hard work, train. Now it's our turn to shine. On the flip side, when a conductor bows before stepping into the carriage, it's a quiet prayer for safety. It's a handover of heavy responsibility, giving thanks for a safe journey so far and vowing to keep it safe moving forward. It's the exact same physical movement, but carrying a completely different, quiet willpower based on their role. Which brings us right back to that question we started with. Is this all just too much, or is it truly beautiful? Let me be completely honest with you here. When you really take a step back and think about bowing on a platform to a massive block of metal and electronics, yeah, it can feel a bit excessive, right? Even for those of us living in Japanese culture, we sometimes feel that friction. We aren't just blindly following rules like robots. Sometimes we're deeply moved, and other times we honestly think, okay, this is a bit much. Let me share a real personal example of when I definitely felt the too much. So I had just bought a new car at a dealership. I hop in, start driving off, and the salesperson steps outside to see me off. Pretty standard Japanese hospitality, right? But then I hit a red light about 2 blocks down the road. I glance in my rearview mirror, and he's still there, standing by the side of the road, bowing deeply, and the light stays red. My internal monologue is just panicking. Okay, that's enough. I can't even see you clearly anymore. Please lift your head up. Along with feeling thankful, I felt this intense, awkward pressure. I just wanted the light to turn green to set the poor guy free. That is the absolute definition of feeling like it's too much. But then, contrast that with a totally different experience. I was checking out of a traditional rokon, a Japanese countryside inn. As I walked to my car and looked back, the entire staff, dressed in kimonos, was lined up outside, smiling, waving. Even as I drove away, feeling a tiny bit embarrassed by the attention, they kept waving. I drove further down the road and they were still waving. And in that moment, the only word that came to mind was beautiful. Not appropriate, not professional, just beautiful. That slow, deeply Japanese scene really struck a chord with me. It was a quiet, heartwarming emotion that was worlds apart from the panic I felt at the car dealership. So why do practically identical gestures hit us so differently? The salesperson gave me anxiety, while their Yokon staff gave me a memory I'll keep forever. The answer really boils down to one thing: context. A rakan is this special space, totally disconnected from the rush of everyday life. In that setting, a slow, deliberate send-off feels perfectly natural. But on a random Tuesday at a busy intersection, that same level of devotion feels a little overwhelming. The cultural roots and the gratitude are exactly the same in both situations, but the balance of ordinary versus extraordinary completely shifts how we experience it. And you see this far beyond just bullet trains or country ends. Just look at what happens at Japanese airports. When a plane pushes back from the gate, the mechanics and ground staff don't just head back inside. Rain or shine, they stand out on that massive tarmac and wave until the giant aircraft completely disappears from view. This isn't some quirky rule enforced by the airlines. It's a deep-rooted, society-wide acknowledgement of presence. It's a shared language where people use their time and physical space to show respect, not just to other humans, but to the massive machines themselves and to the passengers sitting inside them. Which perfectly tees up that certain Japanese sense I teased at the very beginning. There's a specific term for this, aisha seishin. Directly translated, it means love for the vehicle, but the meaning is so much broader than that. It's about having deep care and affection for the vehicles, tools, and machines you rely on. You don't just treat them as disposable objects to use until they break. You form a bond with them as partners that support you and keep you safe. That's why you keep them clean and why you treat them with respect. When those cleaners are polishing the Shinkansen, it's this exact spirit driving them, going way beyond just doing a job. This attachment to tools actually ties into an incredibly old and profound concept in Japan. It's the Shinto belief of Yayoi no Kami, or the 8 million gods. It's this worldview that spirits reside in absolutely everything. Mountains, rivers, old trees, and yes, even everyday tools and machines. Now, don't get me wrong here. The cleaners aren't literally worshiping the bullet train as a literal god. But this feeling, it plays like background music throughout Japanese culture. A high-speed train isn't just a hunk of metal. It's an entity. It has presence. And because of that, it's worthy of a bow. The conscious effort to cherish things naturally flows into these physical actions. So how does this ancient spirituality survive in today's hyper-efficient world? Surprisingly, it takes on a really practical form. I actually saw a slogan once at a local gas station that said, "Clean cars don't have accidents." At first glance, you'd think, okay, that's just a cheeky sales pitch for a car wash. But look at it through the lens of aisha seishin, and it makes perfect sense. Showing respect to your tools and keeping them clean naturally forces you to pay attention to the little details. If you're paying attention, your maintenance is flawless, and a flawlessly maintained tool won't let you down. That spiritual philosophy translates directly into the ultimate practicality, safety management. Let's untangle this thread of Japanese philosophy real quick. Step 1, caring for things. You recognize the actual value that tool brings to your life. Step 2, keeping them clean. Just like that 7-minute miracle, you show your care through physical action. And step 3, showing respect. That's the bow, that's the quiet waving on the tarmac. Many people in Japan place massive importance on expressing value through quiet, consistent physical actions, rather than just loudly shouting, "I love my job." It's all about communication through attitude, without relying on words. Let's bring it all together. The cleaners pulling off miracles in 7 minutes, the conductors taking a quiet breath before a long journey, the salesperson frozen at a red light. They're all quietly doing the exact same thing. Through their physical actions, they're saying, my work matters, the tools I use matter, and you, right in front of me, matter. They aren't giving eloquent speeches. They're speaking loud and clear in the silence, purely through their posture. Behind actions that might sometimes look like too much, hides an unwavering sincerity and care for the things around them. So, I want to leave you with a question. In your country, how do you show respect to vehicles, tools, or the things that support you every day? Do you meticulously clean them, or maybe say a quiet goodbye when it's time to let them go? The expressions might look totally different, but that underlying feeling of gratitude, that just might be universal. It might be too much, but it's also beautiful. A society that can honestly hold both of those feelings at the same time and let them coexist might actually be a pretty rich place. The next time you hop on a train in Japan, I really hope that quiet bow looks just a little bit different to you.